Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another YouTube video. I am your host, the Yankee Nerd, coming at you live from the Garden State of New Jersey. And today I want to be talking about the comments that Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton have both said on their when they spoke to the media. So I'm just gonna play Aaron Judge's quotes first, and we'll go over that, and then we'll go to Giancarlo, and we'll do the whole shebang. All right. So here we go, Aaron Judge.
Some negative stuff, touched on some positive stuff, but I think the ultimate message was just, which I've talked to him a lot about too, is just the standard of being a New York Yankee. What it means to play here, what it means to wear the pinstripes. A lot of legends have come through this building and played here and built up this organization, and they didn't do it just off of talent. They put in the work they put in every single day. There's a standard that comes with playing here, so he just really talked about that and some other things, and I think it was a great message.
And there's been a lot of talk this offseason about you guys running it back with a similar team that you had last year. Just what do you think of doing that and the composition of this team?
I love it. I don't know. People might have their opinions on it because, we didn't win it all last year. We fell short in the division series, but, you get a chance to bring a lot of those guys back. They're impact players. You bring back a guy like Cody Bellinger, who he can play all over the diamond. He can hit in the middle of the order for you. You can come with a big base hit when he needs to. You bring back Paul Goldschmidt, who's been an MVP, played all over, and just what he brings inside that clubhouse, not only on the field but in the clubhouse, he elevates, especially with the younger group we have, especially in the infield. You got a young core at the infield, and you have a guy like that can help him out. He's been there. He's done it. I'm excited. You just get another year of the young guys to develop. You bring back some big pieces, especially Trent Grisham, our center fielder, who had a breakout year. So I'm looking forward to it. And then you get to add G. Cole, down the road a little bit with some other guys. I like our chances.
Aaron, what was the offseason like for you, just waiting to see what the front office was going to do? And then obviously with Cody, going into January, not knowing whether he was going to be back or not, and how important he is to this team.
Oh, it was brutal. I'm like, I see a lot of free agents out there. I see a lot of guys that, like the Bellingers, the Grishams, the Goldschmidts, like, let's sign these guys right now and then start adding more pieces, because I'm seeing other teams around the league get better. They're making trades. They're signing big prospects or big players. And, we're sitting there for a while, kind of making smaller moves. But, it was tough there in the beginning. But I think once we solidify getting Bellinger back, we got Trent being our center fielder, be our leadoff guy for another year. And then you had a guy like Goldie, some of the back end, bullpen pieces that we've been doing. I think we're being in a good spot. But the early on, it was pretty tough to watch. I'm like, man, we're the New York Yankees. Let's go out there and get the right people, get the right pieces to go out there and finish this thing off, because we got a special group of players here. We got a good core, a good young core. So it was frustrating, but I think we're right where we need to be.
Did you express any of that to them?
Yeah. But they took care of business. I've voiced my opinion about a couple of guys, and Bellinger being one of the guys that he just adds a dynamic to this team that we've been missing for quite a few years. So excited he's back.
Clap right behind you.
Aaron, speaking about the offseason, is it tougher this time around? Eight Octobers in a row you've gone home disappointed. Is it tougher as the years go on to clear your mind, clean the slate, and start all over again in spring training?
Each year's tough. Anytime you're not the winner, it's a tough off season. It's a tough everything. But you can pick some nuggets out of some tough moments to improve on, or to kind of give you a little bit of fire to push through the off season. But I think I'll never be satisfied until we go out there and finish it. No matter the awards, the MVPs, All-Stars, like, man, that stuff, that doesn't matter. What matters is putting New York back up on top and putting this organization back where it belongs, which is being the best organization in the game. So it doesn't really get harder. I got a job to do. I don't get paid to just play this game. I get paid to win here. So we got to go out and win.
Okay, and as you guys heard, Aaron Judge was not satisfied with the progression of the or the off season at the very beginning. But he apparently was perfectly okay with how the team turned out because he says he loves the team. So I'm just assuming that he didn't like how long it took for them to re-sign a bunch of these players, but at the same time, they re-signed a bunch of these players. And it also seemed like a little bit, a hint of desperation if you really listen to it, because he's not getting any younger. And I think he's looking at the big picture here and he's thinking, hey, I'm 34. I'm going to be 34 at the end of April. And if the 2027 season gets canceled, which it shouldn't, if it does, but it shouldn't get canceled. But if it does, then the next time he'll be on the baseball field, he'll be 36. So he's not getting any younger. He'll be, by that time, he'll be not far past, but he'll be out of his prime, okay? This is probably his last real golden year. Maybe next year will be it too. But I'm definitely seeing, he's gearing up to have another, Aaron Judge season, which is 50 home runs, 6,000 RBI, 1,000 OPS. I mean, this guy's just, he's phenomenal. So, but for right now, we don't know how the season's going to turn out this year. And if it's a little bit, not even, just a slight decrease, like let's say he doesn't have 50 homers, let's say he has 45 homers. Okay. Right? That's not terrible. But I'm saying that's regression. Okay? That's that crazy regression to the point where it's going to really affect the overall team, but it's regression nonetheless. And regression from your best player who's been carrying you all these years is going to affect the team just because, look, even if he has to perform at a literal, godlike status for the team to even get to where they are every season. So, without Aaron Judge performing at his peak, how will the rest of the team look? I don't know. So I think Aaron Judge is also thinking that, look, I'm not going to be at my peak forever, okay? This is probably going to be it after these 2 years, maybe this year, period, right? And until then, I want to win a ring. I want to win a ring, okay? So whatever I have to do to win, that's what I'm going to do. But as of right now, Aaron Judge is just looking at it, and he sees that, look, and you could take it as two different ways too, because you could take it as, look, it took long for the offseason to progress, but he's okay with the team, or it took long for the offseason to progress and he didn't get the team that he wanted, which is pretty much, there were two other big free agents out there, Bo Bichette and Cody Bellinger. I'm sorry, not Cody Bellinger, Kyle Tucker. And the Yankees could have signed Kyle Tucker, and they could have signed Bo, and they could have probably got rid of Jazz. I feel like, you're not getting rid of McMahon. In all perfect world, you would get rid of McMahon. And even though McMahon is a better third baseman, there's still a big discrepancy between the overall performance that Bo would do offensively and, just an okay defender at third. But then again, Bo's never played third. He wasn't a good shortstop. I'm not sure if he's going to be a good second baseman. So it's all different, okay? Bo is his fielding is on the table, but the main thing is his offense. You would get him for his offense, and he's a really good offensive player. And Cal Tucker, obviously, he's a lot younger than Cody Bellinger. He also is more consistent. Now, last year, he wasn't a better player, I would say. I think Cody actually was the better player last year, specifically. But overall, I definitely think Cal Tucker is the better player, although Cody's fielding is better. And then let's just go to Giancarlo Stanton's statements.
Hi, Giancarlo. What is the camaraderie like amongst this group? It looks like you guys are and you enjoy yourselves out on the field. People genuinely like each other. I think it's been described as a brotherhood at times, even. And yesterday, Aaron Judge said he loves that running it back, so to speak, with similar guys. What's your perspective on that? And it just seems like everyone kind of enjoys each other.
Yeah, it's a great clubhouse, a great dynamic. We have a lot of fun. We work really hard together. We make sure we know, when to turn that off and on. So yeah, it's a great group of guys, and the right ones to run it back with. So we just got to improve, all of us, from last year, and come with that determination.
After an MVP season, fans were thinking you and Judge were going to hit 70 homers every year. You go out and have a great opening day. You come home, you strike out a few times, get booed. There's been some injuries, but then a lot of playoff success. When you look at this as your 9th year here, has it grown on you, New York, being a Yankee? I know you guys haven't won a World Series yet, but what has it meant to now maturity of your career is with Judge, a lot of great playoff moments for you, and just kind of your legacy as a Yankee. I know it's not over.
The story's still being written, but at the end of the day, if you look back from now, the point of being the Yankee is being a champion. So if you really, there's always going to be a stain there without that, whether good or bad, great or okay times, there'll be something to the side if that's not completed.
You feel appreciated though now by fans who, now they seem to really appreciate a lot of the big moments you had in October. Do you feel that?
I've always felt appreciated. I mean, there's going to be hate and appreciation always. So it's whichever perspective you want to look at, which one you want to pay attention to. And this is a results business, a results city. So you're not given results. You're going to assume not appreciated, but my job is to give results. So, yeah.
All right, guys, and see, Giancarlo, he kind of had, because look, right, the interviewer asks him, his legacy on being a Yankee, and he definitely says it. He says it right. I mean, winning is a big part of that. Winning a ring is a big part of it. Look, at the end of the day, I definitely think Giancarlo Stanton, when it's all said and done, he's going to have over 500 homers. He's probably going to go to the Hall of Fame. The thing is look, you look at how the Yankees are looked at, and most of them, like, I want to say the only one that isn't didn't win was Don Mattingly, right? But every big Yankee great has won a ring, right? So like you go, all the way up from the 20, and I get it. It was easier back then. Doesn't matter. Okay. Look, they've won from the 20s all the way up to the 2020s. They've mostly all won, the Yankee greats, right? All the people with their numbers retired, everything they have won, right? And in the modern times, it is way harder to win. It is extremely hard to win. In baseball, just because as one player, even though you're a really good player, you can't really affect the game as much. I mean, yeah, you could. Like, if you get 4 home runs and 4 at-bats, I mean, that's a 4-homer game. Like, that's 4 runs on the board you single-handedly contributed to. But it's not like, okay, you're up there scoring all the time. You don't get like 8 at-bats, 9 at-bats a game. You get 4, maybe 5, right? So a lot of the times you're not progressing the game as much as you would like, even though, like, even if you get 1 home run, okay, that's 1 run, and then you get a double, you get 2 doubles and you strike out. Okay, well, if those 2 doubles lead to no runs, then you've scored 1 run, even though you've given your team the opportunity to bring you in. You didn't single-handedly score the run. That's what I'm trying to get at here. You can't single-handedly affect how the game is going to be played. I think the player that has the most influence on the game, just as a one-player status, is the pitcher. But as a hitter, you can't really do much in terms of just, look, I got my hit. It's the most selfish sport, I want to say, because you could really just go out there, get your hits, do whatever you want to do. And if your team doesn't score you, then look, that's not on you. I mean, that's really on your team. It really is, because you don't have to do anything other than that. Like, just get your hits, go on base. That's it, and the rest is up to your team. So you don't have that much responsibility in terms of how your team performs overall, just because you really can't affect how your team performs overall. Now, on the fielding side, yeah, obviously, you want to catch the balls that are being hit towards you, but then sometimes you run into some freak incidents. So I do think that, look, if Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton and Garrett Cole don't get to the promised land and at least win 1 ring, yeah, I definitely think they're going to be looked upon lesser than some of the people that came before them. Like, you look at the old captain, right? We have Derek Jeter, and then we have Aaron Judge. This isn't even up for debate. Aaron Judge is a better player, right? He's a way better player than Derek Jeter. But I want to say that most Yankee fans, period, would say, hey, Derek Jeter was better because he won 5 rings. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess he did, but at the same time, you know, look at the player. Like you saying better player. I mean, yeah, he won more rings. That doesn't automatically mean he's better, you know. And at the same time, Derek Jeter has some crazy teams around him. A lot of times, he wasn't even the best player on his own team. You know, I mean, he was a really good player. Don't get me wrong; he was a very consistent player. But you know, he had a lot. He had a lot of support around him. And you look at these teams now. You know, I want to say from 2017 onward, right? And you had, I mean, really, 2017, you didn't really like have that much support around you. 2018, I mean, they added Stanton. A lot of people thought that was going to be the big thing, you know, that they add. Like, hey, look, we got we had Stanton, we have Judge. Let's go out there. This is the new Roger Maris combo. It wasn't, and you really didn't. I mean, they were always trying. You know, I want to say from like 2017 all the way up to 2023, and then 24 you added Juan Soto, which was like the big thing because he's like one of the best hitters in the league. And guess what? You went to the World Series with them, so it worked out. It worked out, right? And then in 25, you couldn't re-sign Soto. It's fine. Pivoted. A lot of people were like, "Oh wow, this is actually pretty good," because you got Fried, you got Paul Goldschmidt, and then you got what's his name? Cody Bellinger, right? And Cody, he had a really good year. Trent Grisham had a really good year. Paul Goldschmidt, I mean, he decreased. I definitely think Ben Rice could pick up the slack, though. I think Ben Rice could really be a star in this league. But, you know, Ben Rice, he picked up the slack for Goldschmidt later on towards the year. But Goldschmidt started off the year really hot. And Fried, I mean, obviously a really good pitcher throughout the entire year up until the ALDS. But the thing is I would still consider last year a failure just because, look, I mean, yeah, you got past that Red Sox series, it's fine, but you were never even supposed to be in that series to begin with since you were supposed to win the American League. You were supposed to win the AL East to begin. You were supposed to win, and you didn't. You didn't. That's the thing. Last year, in my opinion, was a disappointment from the end of the season because you lost to Miami in that one terrible series. You had a really bad June. By the way, my birthday month, but you had a really bad June, and then you had a really good end to the year. But it didn't matter by then because the Blue Jays won the tiebreaker. So it doesn't matter. It didn't matter at the end. So it was a disappointment to me already going into the postseason. But then you won, and then you lost the first game against the Red Sox. But then you won the next two. Thank God, because then that really would have been a disappointment. Then you lost to the Blue Jays. And to be honest, it's mainly the pitching's fault. I'm going to be honest. It's mainly Rodon and Fried's fault. Honestly, I don't think that Fried. I don't think Fried definitely he didn't pitch to his best at all, and Rodon like he did some shenanigans and lost us the game. So what I'm trying to say is, the Blue Jays had your number at the end of last year, right? Even when you beat them at home, it didn't matter, right? And what mattered was what was going to happen in the postseason, and we saw what happened. You know, they won. And they went to the World Series. And I really don't think, like, look, you guys can say whatever you want, but the Blue Jays were not the better team. The Yankees were. The Yankees were the better team. I'm going to stand by that. And I definitely even think that the Yankees could have definitely went to the World Series and won. And I know that sounds like, oh, Yankee fan, whatever. I just think that Yankees had a really good pitching staff, and they had a good enough offense to get them through. I mean, they scored the most runs in the whole entire league. And that counts for something. So what I'm trying to say is the Yankees were not a bad team last year. And when people say they're running it back this year, it kind of gets me like a little confused. Because first of all, they're not running it back 100%. 100%. There are some little improvements. But if you look at it this way, I mean, this is the first time the Yankees have had a really complete team. There's no holes. Last year, we were figuring out who our third baseman was going to be. The year before that, who's our left fielder? I mean, for a couple of years, we didn't know who our left fielder was. And then even a little bit before that, who's our shortstop, right? But now we have from the catcher to the pitcher to around the diamond, everywhere around the diamond, everywhere around the outfield. we have a player that we know is going to start and maybe even the backup, right? Because Cody can play all over the place. Oswaldo Cabrera can play all over the place. So we have a good representation or idea of who's going to play where and what's his team's going to look like. It's the first time in a long time where this has been the case. I want to say the only downside is maybe the bullpen, but the bullpen will sort itself out, right? So let me know what you guys think about in the comments down below. What do you think about Aaron Judge? What do you think about Giancarlo? AJ, he said some revealing things. I think he's been thinking this for a while, if I'm being honest. I think he's really been thinking this for a while, and he was just like, you know what? I'm just going to let loose here because this is it. This is really my last shot. I've tried it every other way, and it hasn't worked out. So this is it. You know, I'm shooting my last shot. I'm going all in this season. The Yankee team has been disrespected, honestly. And the Yankees are not like any other sports league team. You know, a lot of people, they want to compare them to the Cowboys or to the Celtics. And I'm like, no, the Yankees are just different just because they have it's generational winning. You know what I mean? This isn't just like an era where they won. No, it's generational. They have won for so long now. And yeah, they've had their down years, their up years, their down decades even. They're up decades, right? But for through and through, it has always been you win generationally. You know what I mean? There's always just, you have the good player, you have a great player, and you just win with that guy. So Aaron Judge is your great player. This is your golden goose right now, and he's trying to lay one last egg, maybe win another MVP. Mind you, he won an MVP last year too. So he was a great player, or he is a great player. I don't know why I'm saying it in the past tense. And I definitely think that they could win this year. I definitely think they could go to the World Series this year. I love it. I saw a couple people saying like, oh, they can't go to the World Series this year. They can't win a World Series like this. And I'm like, who says they can't? I mean, look at the Dodgers. 11th inning of the 7th game of the World Series to the Blue Jays. And I think right now the Yankees are better than the Blue Jays. So if you say that, then, well, the Dodgers have gotten better. And I definitely think the Yankees are on par with the Dodgers. Look, if you look at the rankings in Vegas, the team, obviously the favorite is the Dodgers. Second team out of that, the Yankees to win the World Series. So just putting that into perspective. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Might change the channel name. I don't know. I want to start talking about other topics on the channel other than the Yankees. I do like the Yankees, though. This is probably going to be the primary topic, but other New York sports stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.